you have to learn that you're all in and have to work together. Because in our most previous year, we went 5-7. Still not where we want to be, but a lot better than our first year. And we see the growth and most wins, a lot of records broken, most wins in like 40 years, conference wins. And that's just involving everybody on the team trusting in one another. Our motto is 10 toes down and just being all in. And if we can ensure that everyone is focused on the same goal, we'll be able to accomplish that as long as everyone's all in and trusting in one another.
Welcome to the VMI Center for Leadership and Ethics Leadership Journey podcast. This podcast aims to share leadership stories from our VMI Corps cadets and high-profile leaders who visit the Center for Leadership and Ethics and VMI Post. We're on this journey with you. Hello, I'm Derek Pinkham. I'm your host of the podcast. Jordan Ward, class of 21, was born in Washington, D.C. and raised in Frederick, Maryland, but made a big family decision to move to Aspen, Virginia to play high school football. And that is what brought him to VMI. And the rest is history. So, without further delay, I bring you Jordan Ward.
I would say from jumping from high school to college, I think the biggest advancement or improvement in my leadership is just the ability to learn from other people from different backgrounds, people from different styles of leadership that they require. I think from growing up with a drill sergeant mom, I'm definitely a more abrasive I used to be in terms of just telling people what to do and making sure everything sees fit with goals and accomplishments. But I think now I'm able to talk to people, reason with them, be personable, so we can get the same goals out of the team and the group, but at maybe a better rate or the team is more satisfied with what we accomplished. I think a lot of it was trial and error too. Just once I was in that role and navigating how to lead a group. Sometimes when it came to S6, leading a group of the RAT athletes, it'd be up to 50 or more, and making sure they all understand what needs to be done, make sure we do it swiftly in a timely manner. And so understanding that some people need to be spoken to a certain way. You got people from different backgrounds where if they're spoken to as if somebody's reprimanding them or yelling at them, they start to get defensive. They start to bite back. You have to make sure they know that they can trust you and you can trust them, and then that cohesion really works together as a team.
Perfect. So it seems to me that, say, on the football field, maybe it's slightly different. You're put in a position because you have this expertise, right? And they know you are a leader somewhere in the Corps.
Right.
Yeah. Can you talk about maybe that and some of your first experiences as a leader on the pitch? I say the pitch. I'm a soccer player. On the field, on the football field.
On the field, you have to learn that you're all in and have to work together. Because in our most previous year, we went 5-7. Still not where we want to be, but a lot better than our first year. And we see the growth and most wins, a lot of records broken, most wins in like 40 years, conference wins. And that's just involving everybody on the team trusting in one another. Our motto is 10 toes down and just being all in. And if we can ensure that everyone is focused on the same goal, whether that's winning this game, whether that's beating the Citadel, whether that's a conference championship, making it to the playoffs, we'll be able to accomplish that as long as everyone's all in and trusting in one another. So they do their job and you do your job, and everything will work out.
Speaking of being on a team and all having this one end goal in mind, do you have any advice for leading your peers?
I definitely know those challenges. It can get awkward because you have, for example, a lot of this can relate to football. You have a football team of guys who same age as you, same position maybe, and you guys are already close as friends because you're going through the rat line together. You've gone through every year together. A lot of our football team members roommate with one another, and so where do you differentiate peer and peer, where it's more casual, to a leader and a member of the team where it's more professional? And I think the biggest advice I can give to my younger peers, younger teammates on the team, younger members of the Corps is you always have to lead by example. I think that's the easiest way to get a member of the team's trust, is lead by example. As long as you're doing the right thing, they see that. And so if there ever comes a case where they're not doing the right thing and you say something about it, they're going to be like, I know he knows that I'm not doing the right thing because I always see him do the right thing. Because I see far too often somebody try to tell somebody what to do or say, hey, you did this wrong, but they'll be like, hey, well, you did this wrong that other day, and you aren't doing this right either. And so everybody tries to compare and point fingers and put the blame on one another. But if you're doing everything right, there's nothing they can put against you. And so it's an easy way to earn the trust and respect of one another and be like, okay, I know what he's getting at me on is for the right reasons with the right intentions, and I need to listen to him.
That's fundamental. Is do the right thing, lead by example. That's simple.
It sounds like there also has to be some like common ground between your peers. You know, when you go from being friends to then you go and you're in like a team situation, you both have to know the dynamic has sort of changed.
Definitely.
In between those two roles.
Right. And then, in a couple hours it might flip. So
right.
Yeah.
They might be the leader and you might be following. Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
I can relate to that too. Just from my difference in being a football team captain versus a position in the Corps, honor court staff. There's a lot of more professionalism in those positions. You're dealing with commandant staff members, you're dealing with colonels and military members, and so I think my teammates have definitely understood that. I can be personable and also professional on the football field, and then on the hill, I'm definitely in a different mentality mindset. Just because that's how our school operates. So,
do you think VMI and being in these different clubs and sports teams and working with just a diverse team setting in general, do you think that's helped you become more adaptable to make those changes quickly and how you lead or just how you approach the situations?
Definitely. I think even before VMI, just the aspect of a team sport, especially football, because there's no one person that wins the game, no one guy that gets the accolades. It's 11 guys on the field at the time. It's a team aspect, team effort. And so I think being able to adapt to that, being able to adapt to adversity is something that I learned a lot. And especially my last 2 years in high school, my head coach would always talk about adversity. And, he's gone through his own adversity. He's told us his own life stories. And, we learned from different obstacles throughout the season. Say a player gets hurt, say something happens and the game gets canceled. What do you do to pick up the pieces? There's no time for a type of woe is me type of attitude. You have to figure out, be optimistic, be what's the next step? What can we do from here to improve the situation? And so I think that's the biggest key in being adaptable.
So what do you find has been the most helpful strategy for improving your leadership style?
Listening, I think. I definitely think that just listening to people and you don't always have to have the answers to something, to a situation or a problem, and you might never have it, but being able to listen to someone else and collaborate and trust in other people is the biggest thing that I've improved on, just because I know I don't have to do it all alone. I know there's other guys, other leaders. I'm not the only leader on a team or in a group. I know there's other guys that can help me out as well. And so trusting in them, that will help the overall goal of the team.
You're a mechanical engineering major. So does it work the same with teammates and classmates there who are other engineering majors?
Definitely. I think it's weird how much football and engineering could relate, especially just what I've learned studying my degree. I've been in that degree all 4 years, haven't switched. And engineering is a very big team-based degree. We work on so many projects throughout the course of the semester and the year that are team projects. Rarely do we do assignments alone. It's always some type of team collaborative effort. Somebody might know something that you might not. And so that's where the trust aspect comes in, where it's, or just asking for help and not trying to put too much pride over yourself, where you can ask, hey, I don't know how to do this. Can you help me out? And I learned that a lot from just a lot of projects and assignments throughout my engineering career.
Has VMI helped foster any core values in you that you're gonna, that you hold on to?
Right. I have a saying that my dad taught me in high school, and I carry it's actually engraved on the back of my ring. It says, "Stay curious, be passionate, work hard." And I think VMI has definitely reinforced that since I've been here. Stay curious, always eager to learn, always eager to try something new, whether it might be risk, whether it might be scared. Be passionate, just have some type of enthusiasm and joy in everything you do. whether for me that's football, whether that's working with members of the Honor Corps, working with staff, just being at school. Because you see a lot of cadets, and VMI tends to bring them down with the different challenges, and it might affect their mental health. But if you try to approach everything with some type of optimism each day when you wake up, I think that's definitely benefited my frame of mind while I'm here, and I think that's helped me be more productive. And obviously, work hard is the last part. People say everything about VMI is hard, and that's true. I think there's a lot of hard aspects: academics, balancing everything, a military lifestyle, and then obviously NCAA athletics on top of that as well. And so I think just working hard through that, the results come. You just have to trust the process.
As a team leader, what do you want people to know about your leadership style? What's the one thing that you would tell them so they know up front?
To me, leadership means the ability to relate to other people in a group or a team and encourage other people to accomplish a common goal that the team has. That can involve anything. That can involve, for me, winning a game. That can involve passing an assignment, finishing a group project in school. As long as you are there to motivate and inspire and encourage other people while also doing your job, then that's the definition of a leader. I'm committed. You can definitely tell that from my leadership style, and whatever it takes. I think sometimes can I get a little aggressive, but I wouldn't call it aggressive. I call it passionate about something, about practice. If practice isn't going well, if we're not doing well as a group, I'll definitely get passionate about it, and you'll hear from me. But I think that's just a testament to how much I care.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us. It was really awesome to sit down and talk with you.
Yeah, no,
thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it.
The CLE would like to thank the following: alumnus Caleb Minus, class of 20, for the intro and backing music. Find more of his musical stylings on his Instagram page @MinusOfficial. That's @MYNUS official. Colonel David Gray, USA retired, Director of the VMI Center for Leadership and Ethics. And of course, as always, our podcast guests.
Find this podcast and other CLE programming information on the VMI Center for Leadership and Ethics website, or try our YouTube channel, or on Podbean. Follow the VMI Center for Leadership and Ethics on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram accounts. See you next episode of The Journey. Thanks for tuning in.